Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. Alright, we got a couple cruise news stories for you today for the 21st of April 2022, and we're actually going to start down under today, and we're going to talk about New Zealand. So the New Zealand Cruise Association, well, they're really pushing the government down there, trying to find out, hey, when are we going to be able to open the maritime borders? When are we going to be able to allow cruise ships to come back and visit us here in New Zealand? Stating that the uncertainty currently going on in the cruise sector, look, it's putting hundreds of tourism businesses at risk. They're suffering. There's no cruise ships coming in. There's no real tourism coming in from that sector. And they're talking, a lot of money here with a loss of 250 port calls, which right now they're estimating is around $150 million. The New Zealand Cruise Association, they did put out a statement. The continuing silence from the government on reopening our maritime borders is squandering the enormous contribution that the New Zealand cruise sector could make in providing desperately needed revenue to help regional tourism operators survive into 2023. And as they pointed out, the cruise lines, they're going to need time to set up any cruises, to plan for any cruises, to allocate any ships that are going to visit New Zealand or sail from New Zealand, especially if it's going to be here in the 2022-2023 season, and time is running out for those plans to be put into place. So they're pushing the government, hoping that they can get an answer or some kind of timeline here pretty soon. Next, we have another update on the federal mask mandate issue that is going on and how it's going to affect cruise terminals. Because as cruisers, that's probably our biggest question, is what is it going to change for us in the cruise terminals? Are we going to have to wear the mask or are we not? And that's one of the questions I've seen quite a bit lately. Well, we have some information from the U.S. Coast Guard and a statement from the U.S. Coast Guard regarding this exact issue. Now, while the TSA is responsible for airports, it is actually the U.S. Coast Guard that is responsible for cruise terminals and port facilities and is directly responsible for enforcing any masking requirements. And following the federal judge's ruling, the Coast Guard has released a statement that says they will not be enforcing masking requirements in cruise terminals. So for cruisers that didn't want to wear a mask in the cruise terminal, this looks like it's probably going to be your answer. So in a safety bulletin, the Coast Guard released the following information. On April 18, 2022, the U.S. District Court, Middle District of Florida, vacated the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) mandate for mask wear in airports, train stations, and other transportation hubs, as well as on airplanes, buses, trains, and most other public conveyances in the United States, including vessels. Per this ruling, the CDC has declared that the mandate is no longer in effect. Federal agencies are reviewing the court's decision. In the interim, the Coast Guard will not enforce the directives requiring mask use on public transportation and in transportation hubs. Now, the Port of Boston, they've already come out and said masks will no longer be required. Port Everglades has come out and said they will follow the directive set by the Coast Guard. And we just heard the directive by the Coast Guard. They are not going to enforce the mask policy. So if they follow in the Coast Guard, more than likely Port Everglades will not be requiring masking inside the cruise terminals as well. Now, I'm not saying run down to the cruise terminal without a mask, because like any place out there, you could have individual locations in individual states, individual cases where a mask may still be required. All we know 100% for sure right now is that the Coast Guard says they're not going to enforce it. The Port of Boston says you don't have to, and Port Everglades says they're going to follow the Coast Guard mandates. That's all for 100% facts in hand that we know right now, but it's the current update for today, so I wanted to get it out and wanted to share it with you. But look, like I said in yesterday's video, I'll say it again today, I suspect we will see some big changes or some more definite information on these changes by the end of this week, early next week at the very latest. And finally, Royal Caribbean's Mariner of the Seas docked in Freeport, Bahamas, and guess what? A cargo ship ran into Mariner of the Seas while she was sitting still, while she was docked. So at least not a story of a cruise ship hitting something else. This time, a cargo ship hit Mariner of the Seas. So the Tropic Freedom, which is a small cargo ship, was maneuvering there in the port and at a slow speed bumped into the stern or rear end of Mariner of the Seas. Now, nobody was injured, nobody got hurt, and according to Royal Caribbean and the captain there on Mariner of the Seas, the damage was very slight, very minor, and Mariner of the Seas will be able to continue on with her itinerary with no further delays. So yeah, sounds like it was just basically just a little bit of a love tap there, a little bumper cars in the water. Nobody hurt, nobody injured. Mariner of the Seas still able to continue on. So just a little minor ship fender bender. And of course, the most important thing, nobody got hurt. Alright, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's cruise news video. If you have, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up. Have yourself a great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.